Could buying alcohol underage really be this easy? Looks like it's just a few clicks away.
And the new way college students are getting down and dirty. We'll tell you about sexting.
Plus, look at this. The world's best freestyle soccer player is a student right here at UNC.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
Underage drinking, not a new issue, especially on college campuses. But there may be a new twist. Good evening, I'm Alex Giles.
And I'm Landon Dowdy. A UNC study suggests buying alcohol, even if you're underage, is just a few clicks away. Reporter Jordan Powell investigates.
Researchers at UNC discovered thousands of websites that ship alcohol directly to your house. That makes buying alcohol as a minor as simple as logging onto your computer. Liquor, wine, and beer, as easy as a few clicks.
I'm 21, so I decided to get on my computer and put the study to a test. So I went online, and just after a few minutes, I had ordered myself a bottle of wine. A few days later, this came in the mail. I wasn't here, so my roommate, who's not 21, signed for it, and they did not ask for ID.
We found that very few of the sites did age verification at the point of order, and less than half of them used age verification at the point of delivery. And when they did, UPS and FedEx did a pretty poor job of verifying the age of the customers at delivery in accordance with their own policies.
Some of the sites tell buyers age verification is required at delivery. They may send you an email like this one as a reminder, but minors can still use this as a way to bypass the North Carolina law.
I'm here at an ABC store in Chapel Hill. The Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission is in charge of all sale and purchase of alcoholic beverages in the state. State law regulates quantity of alcohol purchased online, but age verification policies are left up to distributors and retailers.
State Senator Ellie Kinnaird thinks it is a matter of awareness.
I was shocked when I learned that there were thousands of sites where underage people, well, presumably all people, could order online alcohol. And I don't think that most of the public knows that, and I don't think the legislature knows it.
I was really surprised to find out how simple it was for me to go online and order alcohol without telling my age and without really any sort of regulation.
Now, Jordan, who technically is in charge of regulating this?
That's an interesting question, and I spent a lot of time researching that myself. And so I called the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission, and they sent me to the Alcohol Law Enforcement Agency. I called the Alcohol Law Enforcement Agency multiple times, left multiple messages trying to get a statement on this issue, and I have not heard back. So clearly they are not commenting on this issue. And granted, it's a difficult subject to regulate, but it is a problem that needs regulation.
Thank you, Jordan. That is understandable. And it's not just alcohol. Students on college campuses and elsewhere are using new technologies, like their phones, to get down and dirty too.
That's right. Sending naughty texts and pictures in skimpy lingerie.
Or no clothing at all. This risque form of communication is known as sexting.
It starts with, I really want you, or, I need you right now.
UNC senior John Muse is describing the typical sext he would send to his girlfriend. According to a recent University of Rhode Island study, nearly 4 in 5 college students have received sexually suggestive messages, and more than half have received sexually suggestive images. Muse will be the first to tell you he isn't afraid to send dirty texts to his Michigan State sweetheart.
My girlfriend goes to school 700 miles away, so we don't have, the only way we can contact each other during the day is, texting or phone calls or Skype.
Muse says he and his girlfriend sext in order to maintain a healthy, normal relationship. Other students have other reasons.
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of fun, never done it before, okay, this is interesting, it was kind of fun.
Carly Brown says she and her boyfriend used to sext, but now she keeps it clean. There's nothing illegal about two adults sexting each other, but UNC professor of communication technology, Debashish Aikot, says this dirty messaging can still land you in hot water. So should students still sext?
I would say by all means. I mean, if you wanted to convey and share an emotion and you feel comfortable sending that person that kind of message.
I get satisfaction in knowing that we do want each other.
But what if the relationship changes?
Professor Icott told me it's important to remember sexting is only legal between consenting adults. Explicit content of anyone under the age of 18 can be considered pornography.
The athletic scandal here at UNC led to Chancellor Thorpe's resignation. That's clear. It's also becoming clear tonight that the Chancellor plans to do something about the admissions process of athletes before he leaves office. He wants to toughen the standard for athletes, including the number of admissions exceptions some athletes get. Just what those new standards will be, though, is still up in the air. We'll know more come spring. In the last 5 years, 53 football players have been admitted under the exceptions policy. Good news on the job front in Orange County. The unemployment rate dropped again in August to 6.5%, the second lowest unemployment rate in the state. Currituck County tops the list with an unemployment rate of more than 4%. The home of the state's capital, Wake County, ranks fifth at more than 7%. The state unemployment rate is more than 9%, well above the national average of 8.1%.
If you're a senior, it won't be long before you're out there in the job market, and you'll be looking for the highest paying job, right? Well, as Avery Harper reports, it may just depend on how much you owe in student loans.
When LaQuasia Gaillard graduated from UNC in 2010, she thought she'd be working on television, not just watching it. But the right opportunity hasn't come along. Now she works as an office manager at a small glass company in Durham.
I'm kind of saving money. I'm getting my feet back into things.
The average UNC student graduates with about $16,000 in student loan debt, and Gaillard is no different. She's even having trouble paying back her loans. She's supposed to pay more than $500 a month.
I get deferred because I just can't. For my income, I can't handle $500 and survive.
A study by the University of California at Berkeley and Princeton University says students with student loan debt cash in after graduation. They make more money by passing up what the study calls public interest jobs, like teaching or nursing. But that may not hold true for UNC students. According to Roy Engel, the director of University Career Services, the largest employers of recent UNC grads are Teach for America, the Peace Corps, and UNC hospitals.
I would say that it's probably around 90 to 95% of our students are doing the kind of work that they want to do.
Unfortunately, Gaillard is a part of that minority. But she hasn't given up on her dream because of student loans.
My motivation to make more money now has nothing to do with my student debt. You should follow your dreams because ultimately, if you do something that you love to do, you're going to be good at it.
In Durham, I'm Avery Harper.
Students who park illegally already have to worry about getting a ticket and UNC's Department of Public Safety towing their cars. Now there's a new worry: bikes. DPS is taking a stand against bikers who leave their bikes outside of designated bike racks. So far, at least 17 bikes have been impounded. Violators may pay a $10 fine as well as an extra $10 as an impound fee. DPS says the crackdown is due to increased complaints.
And another mode of transportation has been getting complaints for years. Chapel Hill taxi fares aren't regulated, meaning they can charge customers whatever they'd like. Not anymore. Chapel Hill Town Council has voted to regulate fares. The new ordinance creates a flat rate zone from Estes Drive East to the Carrboro Town line. Within the zone, there will be a flat rate fare of $6 for 2 passengers and another $2 for each additional person. The council also standardized other costs, increased fares during game days, baggage fees, and even a $75 cleaning fee if you were to get sick. The new system will go into effect January 1st.
No matter how you get around, the cost of gas is out the ceiling, close to $4 a gallon. But what if you owned and operated hundreds of cars and trucks? How might you try and save money and the environment? Reporter Johnny Gill tells us what the university is doing to save and make some green. Electric vehicles replaced 26 vehicles on campus. In 1 year, the university saved almost 12,000 gallons of gas and $42,000.
After the break, why is Chancellor Thorpe using foul language in the pit?
And a new study shows singing and praising helps cope with stress.
Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. You have to have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
No matter how you get around, the cost of gas is out the ceiling, close to $4 a gallon. But what if you owned and operated hundreds of cars and trucks? How might you try and save money and the environment? Reporter Johnny Gill tells us what the university is doing to save and make some green.
All over campus, you see vehicles like this Chevy van or this Ford utility truck. UNC owns 718 cars, trucks, and the like, and almost all of them run on gas. But that's changing, one electric vehicle at a time.
We're going about it from the perspective of what's the best way to meet the needs of departments and individuals at Carolina.
This is the new face of transportation on campus. This truck runs on electricity, 100%. The recycling department replaces gas-powered Gator with this truck, and employees are enjoying the benefits.
It saves us about $100 a month in gas. It's very efficient as far as the electric use. It's very, very good for the environment.
It's easy to charge. All you have to do is plug it in, and then a few hours later, it's ready to go. No carbon emissions.
When you add convenience and the sustainability aspects of these electric vehicles, it's very attractive.
Here on West Franklin Street, anyone with an electric vehicle can charge at this charging station free of charge, all thanks to a grant provided by the U.S. Department of Energy. Ryan Turner works for ITS. His department also has an electric vehicle. That got him interested in buying this Chevy Volt, and he hopes the university will continue in this direction.
Eventually, this will be a cost-effective way for the university to fuel its fleet.
While these gas cars still on the road now, more and more it appears they'll make way for an electric future. In Chapel Hill, I'm Johnny Gill.
Electric vehicles replaced 26 gas vehicles on campus. In 1 year, the university saved almost 12,000 gallons of gas and $42,000.
Next month, most college students will be voting in a presidential election for the first time, and they're getting their information for their decision from a lot of different sources, like a debate the other night between John Stossel and Howard Dean. But what do they really care about? Michael Whiteman has some answers.
Stossel.
I think, Howard, you go well beyond that. You call yourself a capitalist, then I would call you sort of a socialist capitalist.
Dean.
I am a capitalist. I believe capitalism is the best way of allocating resources.
They may not be appearing on any ballots this election day, but the libertarian journalist and the former Democratic governor of Vermont are part of the conversation, this time at UNC. Senior Ryan Tang attended the debate.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I know I probably will never be the most informed person in the world. I'm just trying to better my knowledge of all the situations and all the different sides and make an educated decision.
What does Tang think is the biggest issue this election?
I think almost everybody would say that the number one problem is the economy.
So would Dean and Stossel.
I'm libertarian, not socialist, and I'm conservative about economics. But I do believe there ought to be a social safety net, and that's socialism and sign me up.
Go to a supermarket, 30,000 products. They're unbelievably deep. Do we need government to provide food for us? If the free market does it, it delivers.
Different sides, different solutions, and a lot of first-time voters here on campus.
I'm very excited to vote for it. I've never had the opportunity to vote in a presidential election because I wasn't old enough last time, so it's going to be interesting.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Michael Whiteman.
Chancellor Holden Thorpe was in the pit Tuesday for the banned book reading, all a part of the First Amendment Day. Here, the Chancellor is reading part of The Catcher in the Rye, a book considered scandalous at one time due to the content and language. Thorpe has been reading the same book each year since the main character, Holden Caulfield, shares his first name. First Amendment Day is sponsored by the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. School officials say this event and others are designed to promote and better understanding and appreciation of the First Amendment. Orange County commissioners are searching for a new site for a Carrboro public library. Town officials have been trying to get a library in town for more than 20 years. There have just been a lot of holdups, but planning is finally underway, just barely though. County commissioners are taking into consideration cost, location visibility, public transportation access, and community preference.
And while plans move forward for the Carrboro Library, the expansion of the Chapel Hill Public Library continues as well. It's been almost a year and the $16 million renovations are still underway. When finished, the renovated building will be twice as big as the old one. Construction should be done by the first of the year, and the library is scheduled to open in April. In the meantime, if you want to check out books, you can do so at the library's temporary location in University Mall.
Have you ever wanted to create your own sandwich at a restaurant, just like the rich and famous? Well, here's your chance. Panera Bread on Franklin Street is holding an online contest where customers can compete to have their sandwich appear on the menu. Participants create a sandwich virtually and submit it online. The grand prize winner will get $10,000, gift cards, and their winning sandwich added to the Panera Bread's menu in the spring. You have until October 6th to submit your ideas, and the winner will be chosen in November.
We all listen to music, right? Mostly for pleasure, though. But what about when you're down? A new study shows religious music helps some people deal with stress. Sefe Amakpai has the story.
It's Sunday morning and UNC senior Nedi Umeyadi is in church. Here, with the sound of song and the word of God, she says she feels most calm.
Basically, after a long week at UNC, having this 2-hour period where I just sing and praise with the church is just a good way to relieve all that stress and relax me.
A UNC study suggests Umeyadi is not alone, especially when it comes to older African Americans. The findings of the study point to the use of religious music as a coping method for stress and issues of mental health. This, according to UNC Nursing School's Dr. Jill Hamilton.
They find personal meaning in the words of the songs, and that helps them to find comfort and strength during stressful times, such as work-related stress.
Work-related stress that students feel too. Here on campus, there are many young African Americans who use the same type of music their older counterparts use to cope with stress. This is the UNC Gospel Choir. The group meets every week, twice a week, to sing, laugh, and be at peace. The study included 65 older African Americans and focused on 5 types of religious songs. Umeyadi favors gospel. Hamilton concluded songs evoking thanksgiving and praise were used the most. Reporting from Chapel Hill, I'm Sefe Amakpai.
When we come back, weathercaster Drew Day tells us what to expect for the football game this weekend.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
Thank you so much for staying with us. As we go ahead and take a look at your weather headlines, it was a cloudy day out there today, and we also anticipate a warm weekend. And in addition, we'll have a cold front moving through on the weekend as well into Sunday, and that will bring us cooler temperatures. As we take a look at the satellite out there right now, you can see that we've had cloudy skies across the state for the entire day today. And as we back out and take a wider view, you can see why we've had all that cloud cover. That's because streaming up from the south, we had this big winds are coming from our south, which has allowed a lot of moisture to come in from the Gulf of Mexico. With that increased moisture, that's increased our dew point across the area. So that's why for the past few days it's felt really muggy, really sticky outside, and it's also increased our temperature. So that's why we saw highs in the mid-80s across the area this afternoon. And this southerly flow will continue until the stationary front moves on by. Here's where that stationary front is right now. It is centered across the state, and it will continue to push to the east, so that by tomorrow morning it will be a little bit further to the east. That's why it's stationary, because it's staying still. It's not moving all that fast. But then it will eventually turn to a cold front, and so that by Thursday evening it'll be well offshore. And behind that front we'll see this high pressure system move on in, and that will clear our skies out. That'll drop the dew points, so it'll feel much more comfortable outside, and it'll also drop our temperatures into the 60s. But there's also a little small chance of rain there, because you can see there's this little trough right here. That could increase the cloud cover across the area, and there might be just a small little sprinkle, but nothing too major. And so then by Friday morning, that high pressure is well entrenched across the area, and so we'll feel quite comfortable. So as we take a look at your forecast for tonight, expect to see partly cloudy skies across the area, light winds, and 67 degrees will be our overnight low. And then for tomorrow, we expect a high of 79 degrees here in Chapel Hill, again with partly cloudy skies and light winds. And then breaking tomorrow down just a little bit further so that you know what to expect throughout the day. By tomorrow morning, as you're headed off to work or school, expect temperatures to be in the upper 60s, 67 here in Chapel Hill. By lunchtime, a few clouds around and 77. And then by 8 p.m., it'll be 69 degrees, and clouds will have cleared out at that point. And as we take a look at the 5-day forecast now, we'll be 79 again tomorrow, just a slight chance of a sprinkle, so have that jacket or umbrella with you just in case. But don't be surprised if you get caught in a little shower. But then through the weekend, temperatures will be in the 80s, so it'll be quite comfortable. These may be the last of our warm days, so get out and enjoy it, especially for the football game on Saturday.
Thanks for that, Drew. Looks like I'm definitely going to have to break out the jacket a lot more often.
Yes, you will. You're welcome.
And coming up, you can learn some fancy footwork from a UNC soccer player.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on. I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
And she took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
You can sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time.
One book could be the first thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Carolina Week, I'm Will Reimer. There might be more scandals surrounding UNC athletics tonight, and this time it's touching basketball. The News and Observer is reporting that in 2007, 30 athletes enrolled in what was called a Naval Weapons Systems class. 6 of those athletes were basketball players, one of them Tyler Hansbrough. The class had an average grade of better than a B+, and there weren't any exams or quizzes. The paper reports much of the grade came from a 2 to 3 page double-spaced paper and a group project. Former UNC guard Bobby Frazier told the N&O that he took the class on the advice of an academic advisor. And some better news in basketball and for McAdoo. James Michael McAdoo is a preseason first-team All-American. So says the Sporting News. The sophomore forward averaged about 6 points and 4 rebounds in 16 minutes a game this past season. And now that Tyler Zeller, John Henson, and Harrison Barnes are in the NBA, McAdoo is expected to play a larger role for the Heels this season. And former Tar Heel baseball player Adam Greenberg got his first Major League at-bat last night. He saw his first pitch 7 years ago. This one.
Oh, my goodness.
That 92-mile-per-hour fastball in 2005 derailed his Major League career. But last night, the Miami Marlins gave him a second chance. He signed a one-day contract with the team. Greenberg struck out swinging against Cy Young contender R.A. Dickey, but he still got a standing ovation from fans and some high fives from his teammates. The 31-year-old says he wants to use this opportunity to spark his return to the major leagues. And you've got to see this next story. It's all about soccer and juggling. Well, sort of. And it's a pretty safe bet you can't do it as well as this women's soccer player from Cary. Brenna Sukier reports.
Can you do this? What about this? Or maybe this? Freshman soccer player Indy Cowie can, and that's why she's the 2012 World FIFA Street vs. Street Freestyle Champion.
I got into freestyle when I was probably like 11 or 12 years old. I went over to England for Brazilian soccer school training, and I met John Farnworth, and he was the world champion at freestyle at the time. And so I saw a little performance that he did, and I just knew from that day on that that's what I wanted to do.
Cowie was hand-chosen as champion by Argentinian soccer player Leo Messi, and she has many hours of practice to thank.
Every day I try and do like an hour and a half, or just, whenever I have time, just, go out and freestyle and fit it in, but I just love doing it.
But finding time to fit in practice can be difficult, especially when Cowie has more than just a ball to juggle.
I have a lot of stuff going on, with soccer and school and, freestyle. It can be hard to fit everything in, but, I love it all.
And Cowie also loves being at UNC.
I love UNC. I've wanted to go here. This is my dream, so I get to, wake up every day and live my dream. I love it.
But Cowie also has dreams for her freestyling.
Just continue to see where I can go with the sport and, see what tricks I can get.
And Cowie's advice for any other new freestylers?
Practice, practice, practice. Never give up. It's tough sometimes. You get discouraged, but you just got to keep pushing through.
And pushing through has paid off for Cowie. She's clearly on the ball. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brenna Sukier.
And this weekend, Carolina could beat Virginia Tech for just the second time since the Hokies joined the ACC. The Hokie defense isn't playing up to its usual standards, but Coach Fedora feels Virginia Tech is still a good defensive team.
They've been year in and year out consistently a great defense. And you look in the national stats every year, and Virginia Tech's going to be in the top 10, top 5 in the country every year. And, so they're always going to play great defense.
And it's only fall, but how about a whiteout? No, not the weather kind. This weekend could be the first ever whiteout game in Carolina history. Fans are being encouraged to wear white to Kenan Stadium. And the players will wear white helmets with white jerseys and white pants. You can buy the official whiteout t-shirt at GoHeels.com or Chapel Hill Sportswear on Franklin Street. And Landon and Alex, those t-shirts are on sale at Chapel Hill Sportswear, 20% off through Friday. So I'm going to run up there now to buy me one. Would y'all like some as well?
I would love one.
Make sure you give me a large, Will. Thanks.
Will do.
And what's this girl doing? We'll tell you after the break.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write to Carolina Week, Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org.
If local music is your thing, then Carrboro was the place to be this weekend. Hundreds of people filled Weaver Street for the 15th annual Carrboro Music Festival.
Almost 200 acts performed at 25 different locations throughout the afternoon and into the evening Sunday. Places like Southern Rail and Weaver Street Market were the scene for people of all ages to listen to a wide variety of music, sample food from local vendors, and show off their unique skills. The Carrboro Parks and Recreation Department puts on the event every year.
That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.